We're going to dial it down just a little bit here on the complexity level and work with the hello and interval and hold timers for a little while and cool off the old bulldog brain here for a few minutes. These are still important commands, though. I don't mean to make this sound trivial because it's not, and definitely some details you want to note here for your exam and your lab and production work with EIGRP. The first oddity here is when you change these timers, you are going to do it at the interface level. And EIGRP commands tend to be both verbose and a little, I don't know, convoluted would be a good way to put it, because it seems like you're always typing in IP EIGRP and then the AS number. You're not just typing in a quick little command. So we're going to do this on the live equipment here in just a moment. I want to show you a couple of show commands before we really kick in here. And on this particular rack, this is a different rack. But the only thing I've got here is a quick adjacency over a fast Ethernet segment between routers 1 and 3. It's been up for 27 minutes, 17 seconds, as you can see, and that's really it. And I ran a couple of commands here, show IP EIGRP interface detail and show IP EIGRP interface static. And right now they look pretty much the same because we have a very simple network. And you can see it's going to give you a lot of the same values here with multicast, flow time, or pacing time. Don't worry about this stuff yet. Most of what is in here you're just not using yet in your studies. But what you are using is the hello interval. Because unless you change it and you see it in the config, this can be hard to find. I see a lot of people on the net, it's like, okay, I got my hello timers down for EIGRP, and I know the hold time is 3 times the hello time with EIGRP as compared to OSPF's 4 times. But where do I see it? And you can see the hello time here with show IP EIGRP interface detail or static. So we've got our neighbors, and we know right now that we're sending out a hello every 5 seconds over broadcast, and each partner is waiting 15 seconds before it drops an adjacency. So we can change these. Let's go ahead and walk through this command. We do this at the interface level, and it's IP but not followed by EIGRP. It is so easy to say IP EIGRP 100 or whatever the AS number is, and then you're looking for the hello interval in the whole time and you can't find it. So the actual command is IP, then hello interval or hold time. And we'll go with hello interval. And then you have to mention EIGRP, and then you have to mention the AS number, and then you have to mention the number of seconds at the very end of the command. So for multiple choice questions and whatnot, it's probably a pretty good idea to know what both of those numbers are at the end of the command. And again, the first one is the AS number. The second one is actually the number of seconds between hello transmissions. So one interesting thing, too, is compared to OSPF, did you notice what happened there? Or what didn't happen there when I changed the timers? We didn't lose our adjacency. So let's do a show IP EIGRP neighbor. And you can see the adjacency is still here. And it didn't drop or anything like that because you can see the uptime is now 31 minutes. So EIGRP neighbors do not have to agree on these timers. We saw with OSPF, as soon as you change the hello time, of course we know the dead time in OSPF is 4 times the hello interval, and that adjacency just clanged as soon as we changed that, and it was not going to come back up until we fixed it. But here, it's not an issue, but we could make it an issue. It's like the old joke, do I scare you? No. Would you like me to? The timers are saying, hey, I'm not going to mess up your adjacencies just this easy, but I can. This is a situation where if you feel the need to change the timers, you should do so really on all the routers in your autonomous system. I'm about to show you why. Because right now we know, and let's run that show in one of those show interface commands. You can see the hello interval is 10 seconds. Well, that means router 1 is sending a hello out every 10 seconds. And how often then, since we haven't changed anything on router 3, how often is router 3 looking for one? What's the overall hold time on router 3? It's 15 seconds, right? Because it's going to be 3 times the hello time, which by default is 5 seconds. So if router 1 is sending a hello every 10 seconds, and router 3 is expecting one every 15 seconds, we don't have an issue right now. But what if we had changed that hello time to 20 seconds? Let's take a look and see what would happen if we did that. And I'll just backspace over my 10, put in 20. And we'll verify, as always, with static. So we see the hello interval change to 20 seconds. Again, the adjacencies don't clang down or anything like that. And you can see we've been up for 32 minutes and 58 seconds, and there goes our neighbor adjacency. And I know since I've got the font large, you can't see that entire message. But here's what's going on, and I want to slide this over so you can see it. You can see that the interface first is down, and that's actually interface goodbye that you're seeing there with interface goodbye is on the next line. So, here we go again. What's going on here? Well, now the adjacency is down again after it came back up, and now it's up again. I've mentioned flapping links a couple of times throughout the course, but you haven't seen anything actually flapping yet, like quickly going up, quickly going down. This is a flapping adjacency because it's going down and coming up and going down and coming up, etc., ad nauseum. And we can see now, I think on this rack we've got the timestamps like down to the microsecond. But you can see here, we'll just ignore the end of it here. You can see right here how often this is happening. Because it goes down for about 4 seconds, comes back up and stays up for how long? What's 24 minus 9? What's 41 minus 26? What's 58 minus 43? 15 seconds. So it's going down every 15 seconds and coming back up for 5 seconds. Well, we caused that. We caused that because we're now sending hellos every 20 seconds. So what's happening is, since router 3 is still at the default of 15 seconds for the whole time, every 15 seconds it's saying this adjacency is dead. Then a few seconds later, when the hello does come in from router 1, it says, oh, we're fine now. And then the adjacency's back up for another 15 seconds, and then it drops again. So we're going to just go ahead and reset this. I hope. And we'll do an up here, and if I negate that, it should knock it down to 5. So let's go ahead and verify. You can see now the uptime keeps going to 6 seconds. Yep, the hello interval is now 5 seconds, and we should be fine from here on out. And that was one more going down, but we could expect that, and it should come back up and hopefully stay that way. But now you can see the uptime is 3 seconds, so literally we were getting our adjacency back for 5 or 6 seconds, then it clunked down again because the timer expired on the other router. It looks like we're stable now that we've fixed that. Okay, we're looking good. That, though, is an excellent reason. Consistency is not always, the hobgoblin of foolish minds. Sometimes consistency is a really good thing. And at this point, at this particular point, or this command, it is. Because you could see when we changed it a little bit, there was no problem. But if you keep changing the timers on one and don't do it on the routers that it's adjacent with, you could have a real problem. I would keep that, the same throughout my network, frankly. Just a couple of quick notes here again. EIGRP neighbors, as we saw, don't have to agree on the hello and hold times. The EIGRP hold time defaults to 3 times the hello time with EIGRP, where it's 4 times with OSPF. And if you change the defaults on one router and an AS, I would change them all, especially if you have like a broadcast segment like we have here and you have multiple routers on it. If you're changing one timer, you would definitely want to change it on all the other. Keep it consistent, because that way we stay away from those flapping adjacencies. Keep those timers synced because it's good for your EIGRP adjacencies and your mental health, and we're interested in both. Now, in the next video, we're going to take a look at fine-tuning EIGRP a little bit with the bandwidth command, and from there we'll go into a discussion of bandwidth, delay, MTU, and what have you, and I will see you there with that on the very next video.